Welcome to the Cluttered Corner. I'm Chelsea. Today is day 11 of Inktober, and today's word is snacks. I'm just gonna start drawing some snacks. My camera battery is pretty low today, and it says it has 30%, but it's showing it as red, so I don't know how much time I have to make this picture, so I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just gonna do it. Having an apple. Apple could have a leaf on it like that. I like to draw a leaf on it. And what else would you have? You'd have like a bag of well, I guess I'm picturing travel snacks since that's like what the theme seems to be for this month is not snacks. The theme, it seems to be travel based. This is a little bag of chips. Could be whatever. It kind of looks like a bag of unpopped popcorn. Or like when you try and pop it and it only pops a little bit and it's real sad. Looks a little bit like that. Except it's very tiny compared to this apple. This is the smallest bag of popcorn ever. How about just a loose walnut? That doesn't look like a walnut. So let's make that a cookie. It's a loose cookie instead. A loose Oreo. And I can just fill that in with this pen. Put some more edge there. And maybe it's a double stuff. It looks like it's got a lot of cream. Let's put these in a little basket or something. I'm not sure I can draw a good perspective on that, but I'm going to try. Like this. I'm going to practice my perspective. And to make this look more basket-like, I'm going to put some lines. Like that. Oh, I already smeared them. Whatever. It's alright. Okay. Putting these lines. Not smearing anything. And I'm not going to do so many lines here. I'm just going to kind of whoosh this across so that it just kind of gives a feeling of it. Because I feel like if I put that much lines on here, it'd be too much. And take away from these beautiful snacks. We've got the tiniest bag of popcorn, half popped, an apple, and a loose Oreo. So, perfect snacks combo. And here, this can be the outside of the basket. I don't know how to convey that really, but we'll just know. So, what else could be happening in this picture? Why are they in this basket like this? Because maybe I'm picturing this kind of being like a bicycle basket. But I don't know how I would draw that. So I'm just gonna put some stuff out here. There's a tree off to the side. And there's like a road in front. I don't know how to draw that. I don't think it would be there. So it's gonna have to be something else. I'm gonna just add some more lines and see what happens. This looks like a little witch hat now. So I'm gonna draw a little pumpkin here. And look, it's sitting on the edge of this. And it's a little witch pumpkin. Because it is almost Halloween. And that's not really the way it would go. I don't know how well, it could be the inside. We're just seeing it lit up. And this gets a little bit of line like that. Because pumpkins have lines. That's too much line. Oh, but that's okay. I think it'll all look fine. And I'm going to add a little pom-pom to the end of its witch hat. Even though witch hats don't traditionally have pom-poms. But I think this cute pumpkin would have a pom-pom. Alright, we got a tree there. Let's put another tree over here. This one's got a hole in it for an animal to live in. I don't know if I've ever seen a tree that actually has that, but it just seems so classic, Very classic tree to have a hole in it for a bird. A bigger one, though, like an L. I'm sure I've seen that, but I don't know. The house that I first ever lived in, that we lived in when I was like a kid, we had a barn owl that lived next door in a tree. And it was really cool. And there was like a field across from us. And it would go out at night and hunt in the field. Of course, our cat would also go hunt in the field, and she would bring home live animals and leave them in the house. So that was always a lot of drama. This is grass, by the way. This is not fire. You might think it's fire, but it's not. It's grass, and it will become clear when I paint it. I hope. And let's put some grass over here. And here. Because I don't know what else to do with this space. So we're just going to put grass in it. Which, I don't know if that's good landscaping advice, but that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try and draw some lines on these trees, just so that they're not so... You know, I finally learned how to draw trees after many years of not really feeling like I could draw trees. The thing is, I would always start from the bottom. You got to start from the top. It's that simple. Okay, these are ready to go. My camera's still going, so I can still paint. Oh, actually, I got to put this away because I don't want to leave it out. Okay. Now I've got my colors here. I'm going to even set them up like this so I can see them. We'll see if I actually use them. I probably won't, because I won't think to look. But, you know, sometimes I do, and it is helpful. It is helpful when I do. Now, I know I'm going to want the stagger brush, so I'm just going to start with it. And I'm going to paint this apple first, because I'm really looking forward to it. But also, I need my wells. Oh, look, there's a beautiful red already in there. Let's start with that. I'm just going to dilute that up a bit. Put this here. Yeah, that's a good apple red. That's a good apple red. It could be redder. I don't love a red apple, you know? Like, they're very classic looking. They're always mushy, and I don't like them. You know, like those schoolhouse apples you get at the grocery store. I'm just like, ugh. But now a green apple's all right, but it's a bit tart for me. I prefer it over a mushy red apple, of course. But I really like the, like, kind of more mixed ones. I don't know what color you call them. I guess they're still red, but they're not, like, red. But, like, the Galas or the Brayburns, you know. All the apple families. All right, that's looking good. I'm going to let that sit for a bit. Let it dry. I'm going to try to let it dry. I'm going to try not to be overzealous with painting this apple. I think overzealous is the right word. That might be wrong. I've never been quite sure what that means. But I think I used it properly. And here's some green I'm finding in my ceramic palette. And I'm just going to use that here to paint these leaves. Or at least to give them their first coat. And this is a nice fall themed picture. You could have like a crisp fall apple. Maybe this is a little packet of caramel you're going to put on the apple. It's not popcorn after all. And I don't know what the loose Oreo is about. It's just for fun, I guess. It's a just in case kind of snack. Alright, brown for this stem. Oh, oops, some of the brown's going into the leaf. It's okay. Now I'm gonna mix up. Oh, I found some brown. I found some brown on my palette, on my ceramic palette. I'm gonna use that to make this tree. Oh, that's not so bad. It's kind of a different brown, but that's what I was looking for. So I don't want it to be too similar to the apple stem brown, even though apple stem brown is probably the same brown as a tree, because where do you think it came from? It came from a tree. It's a tree stem, sort of. There's an apple tree next door to us that hangs over into our yard, and I love that tree. And you go out sometimes, and it just feels like a new season happened. Like, you go out one day, and it's just covered in apple blossoms, and you're like, whoa, it's spring. And one day you come out, and it's just covered in apples. And I like the apples. Nobody else likes them, but I do. They're like this kind of pear apple hybrid thing. And they were just there. The neighbors didn't plant it. Somebody else planted it a long time ago, I guess. But it's kind of weird to think, like, I don't know how long it takes for a tree to actually, like, produce fruit. And, you know, I mean, if you think about the lifespan of a tree, they live so long. And, you know, it takes a long time for humans to reproduce too. Like, you know, you gotta raise them up a long time, hopefully. But, like, to think, like, this tree, I don't know how old this tree is. It's not super old. It's a young-ish tree, I think. But to think, like, that tree could easily outlive me. It could still be making apples, like, long after I've died of old age. Which I don't want to think about, but it is cool to think that trees can live a long time. And I don't know how long apple trees live, but I assume it's a long time. I think most trees live a long time. Oh, you know what? I got this bonsai kit, these bonsai trees, and I planted them in their little, they came with these little pouches, you know, and you put dirt in it. It came with the dirt. They're like, you know, those kind that you put water on and they expand. Anyway, there's 4 different kinds of seeds. I planted them, and one of them's actually sprouted. I'm so excited about it. Only one so far, and the dirt's getting a little moldy because it says to keep them warm and moist. And what do you think happens when you keep dirt warm and moist? That's right, mold. But I'm hoping the mold will not become like an issue. We'll see. But I got a sprout, and I'm so excited about that. I had a bonsai kit once a long time ago, and it wasn't as elaborate as this kit. It was, you know, just kind of, it had, I don't remember what all it had, but it wasn't as thorough as this kit. I do feel like this kit is setting me up for more success than that one did. I don't remember if those even sprouted back then, but either way, I did not end up with bonsai trees. I think they sprouted, but they just didn't last. Like, they died. And I don't know if that was my fault or not. I used to think I wasn't very good at growing plants, and I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, I guess it's true in the sense that I had plants that failed, but I don't think I am, like, inherently unable to grow plants. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. It's early days, and I don't know how the sprout's gonna go, and I don't know if there's gonna be more of them or if it'll survive. I have more seeds if it doesn't work out, but I am feeling hopeful about it, and I think I might end up with a bonsai tree, or 4. There's 4 different kinds. I probably don't need 4 bonsai trees, but, you know, 1 would be nice, I think, unless it's high maintenance. But I'd still like to grow it. I'd still like to see what happens, you know. Oh, my camera's at 16%. It started at 30. I had to paint faster. So what did I say this was? Caramel. I think it's caramel. And I'm gonna, I want it to be a bit more yellowy. It might still just be a bag of potato chips or some corn. Maybe it's caramel corn. It's a half popped, very tiny bag of caramel corn that we're planning to eat with this apple. And that'd probably be good. It'll probably be good. I've never thought to do that, but I bet it's good. And the Oreo doesn't need painting. Oreo is fine as is. Theoretically, I could put a little bit of shading on there, but I think I'm going to leave it for now, at least, because I'm not sure. I'm not confident about that, about getting that to look right. So here's some green. I'm just going to put some green on all this grass. We know it's grass. It's not fire. It's grass. I don't think it's really in question if it's fire or not, but while I was making it here, it did feel a little bit like, oh, it looks like fire. You know what I suddenly just remembered? Do you remember this old, I think it was a Disney cartoon, about that, like, windmill house or something? It was like a windmill. I don't think there's any dialogue in it. It's just like a stormy night, and there's this windmill, and there's all these, like, animals in it. It's like an owl. I don't know. I remember being simultaneously, like, fascinated by that and terrified of it and also bored by it in some ways. I think it's one of those ones that, like, I like it, but when it comes on, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch that. I don't know if I actually like it, though, because, as I said, it's maybe kind of scary. Or at least kind of, I don't know. There's, there's a storm going on. And there's no dialogue. And things with no dialogue, I find boring. But for a thing with no dialogue that might be kind of scary, I guess it's pretty interesting. And it certainly has stuck with me. I don't think about it like all the time, like some things, that stick with me, but it's in there. It's in my brain. I mean, a lot of those old cartoons are in my brain. And you better believe I used to rent those on beta. Actually, I don't know if I would rent that one. I don't remember if it was probably on some video of something. And I had I had a VHS tape that I owned that was like, one of those like sing-along ones that would have just like songs and stuff from Disney things. I used to watch that a lot. I would record stuff off the TV. And, oh, look, okay, I found some black paint. And I think this is actually black. I think this is black mica paint. And I'm going to use that on this witch hat. Because well, if not for that, oh, this might be moon glow, actually. But I would say, if not this black, I think I would paint it purple. I think a nice dark purple could be good. And maybe I'll add a little bit of this Joyce's Mother Violet to here. It's good for mixing with things. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, I think that looks good. It's, it's black, but it's a little purpley. Gives it kind of a more Halloween vibe. And now the sky, I think, we're at 13%. I gotta hurry. There's no time to think about what color to make the sky. The sky's gonna be blue. Now, I don't know. I don't know that I want to be rushed all the time. Maybe everybody's like, oh, good. This is gonna be a quick video. But I hope that it's also fun when I take my time and can just really, put in all the details and really talk about stuff. Because, it's hard to think about things when you're feeling rushed. I don't feel that rushed, though. I mean, I might if my camera gets out. I'm liking how this is happening, how this black is leaking out from the hat. It's not supposed to. I mean, ideally it's not supposed to, but I'm liking it. I think it looks good. Oh, I didn't get any paint. Why is this paint not going? There we go. Alright, now I gotta paint the basket. Brown? Orange? I don't know. I mean, baskets are kind of a tan color. Sometimes I see basket weaving kits come up, and I think, would I want to do that? I don't think I would. I like the idea of it, but I don't know if I would actually, enjoy doing it. I don't know, I haven't tried it. Weaving in general is okay. I think I like it more in idea than I do in practice, but I have some looms, I have some tapestry looms, I have, what is that called? It's like a square loom. Maybe that's all it's called, is a square loom. Peg loom. Whatever it is, it's got little sticks in it that you use to weave like a square. Or you can move it around though and make it like a triangle or whatever. I've used that one a little bit. I'd have to relearn how to use it because I haven't used it enough to really feel confident. But those are fun. It's not, I don't know, it's not as fun as knitting and stuff, but I think also I just kind of need to learn how to do it more and get in some practice so that I can really see what is it like. Because sometimes when you start a new thing, there's so much thinking about what you're even doing that it's hard to know if you appreciate the thing itself or if you're overwhelmed by it being new or, sometimes right away, sometimes you're like, oh, I hate this. But sometimes you're like, it's okay, I like it, but I'd like to like it more. And sometimes that's possible. And sometimes it's not. I mean, I'm probably never going to be weaving's probably not going to be my thing. But you never know. It might be. Knitting really used to be my thing. And now I feel like it's okay. But I don't know, I found a lot more hobbies. I couldn't knit for a while. And I don't know, in my desperation to find more mindless crafting hobbies, I succeeded and I found all sorts of things. Now I do like cross stitch, I do punch needle, which is, well, it's a form of like rug hooking, sort of. You're punching instead of hooking. And then there's also like, there's different ones. There's like a big rug version, and then there's like smaller like embroidery version. And there's bunka, which is a similar craft. It's a little bit different, but it's basically that. There's so many fiber arts things, and so many of them are fun. Knitting is okay. The thing about knitting, though, is I don't actually need any of it, Like, you only need so many scarves and mittens. And at some point, and I like making, like, like clothes and stuff, maybe. Not all the time, but, like some of it, it's fun to make. But what am I going to do with it? Or like a big lace shawl. There's this one that I want to make that's like the big shawl to make, to be like, oh yeah, I have mastered lace. I'll have to look up what it's called, but I want to make that. But then I'm also like, what would I do with that? Nothing. There's nothing to do with that. I mean, I guess you just say, oh, it looks cool, and then off it goes into a box, like most of my finished projects. This isn't going to go in a box. This is going to go in a binder. And someday that binder will go in a box. No, I think I'll leave the binder out on the shelf. There is a brush hair stuck to the painting. And I'm trying not to freak out about it. I really don't like that, but I'm going to try not to mess with it. Maybe when it's dry, I'll try getting it. Okay, I only have 7% battery. It was 8 a second ago, so I gotta go. But I think this is looking good. I'm really happy with this. This is snacks, and, and I love this cute pumpkin. Like, what a happy mistake that was, drawing that. So, this picture wouldn't even be what it is without that. Like, that's the heart and soul of this picture. So, there we go. Day 11, snacks. Like and subscribe. I will be posting more of these all month. And thank you for watching. I will see you next time on The Cluttered Corner.